Hello, Namaskara. In this section, we'll be discussing about magnetic torque and moment. If you remember our previous discussion where we had discussed the force which is acted upon a current loop which is placed in a steady magnetic field. So when there is a force, that particular current loop will be experiencing a torque. So here we'll be discussing what is a torque that is experienced by that particular current loop. So the torque expression is given by T is equal to, where T is the torque, which is nothing but the cross product of R cross F, where R is the moment arm. So this R we call it as moment arm, and F is nothing but the force. So the SI unit of this can be defined by Newton meter. So to make you understand this, let us consider a current loop. So here, this is the current loop. The red one is the current loop which is placed in a uniform magnetic field B. Okay. So I have placed in such a manner that my current loop is exactly oriented, or the axis of my current loop is placed on my z axis. So it is made up of a width W and it has a length L. It has a length L and it is made up of width W. So to start with, I'll first take this current element with names A, B, C, D. Okay. So the current is flowing in this direction. Let us assume the current is flowing in this direction. Okay. Fine. If you see one observation that I wanted to make a note. If you see here, we say the force experienced by the path A to B, or this wire, the force experienced by this wire A to B is 0. I'll let you know why. That is in a minute, but try to intuitively think why it is 0. So how can I solve a force? Basically, force, in our previous section we had discussed force as the closed line integral of I dot dl cross the magnetic field which is acting upon it, right? So to solve the force expression for this whole loop, the current loop, I can take the closed loop can be considered as four different loops. That is, A to B is first path, then B to C is second one, C to D is the third one, and D to A is the fourth one. So this whole should be integrated in my problem, right? Cross B. So this is what I have to solve. But here, if you see, IDL cross B can be written as what? IDL cross B vector is usually written as I. DL will be written in terms of the distance L, and B is B sine theta. This is how we define, right? So for a path between A to B, if you take for a path between A to B, I can write I. What is the length? Length is W. We are traversing the length W, and this is B. Sine of theta is the angle made between my field and the path I am taking. So here that they both are parallel together, hence the angle made is 0. So this becomes sine of 0. Hence sine of 0 is 0. So you have the force experienced by this path is 0. Similarly, if you take the path CD is also parallel to my magnetic field lines B. Hence the force experienced by the path CD is also 0. Hence in this expression, this integral and this integral will be getting equated to 0. Hope this is understandable. Now coming to this path B to C. If you see the path B to C, And if you try to apply the right hand rule, which I had shared in the Edmodo app, the image of the right hand, and if you see that current and all, the force experienced by this particular B2C stretch, I can represent in this manner. The force experienced by this particular element will be in this fashion. I'll call it as F naught. And the force experienced by my D to A path with respect to the right hand rule can be written as upward, and I'll write it as, or okay, I'll correct it. So take for example something like this, upward, and I'll call it as again another F naught, because I'm just telling the magnitude. Since it is a steady magnetic field, the magnitude of the forces should be equal. Even though they are in opposite direction, the magnitude will be same, right? So these are the force experienced by this particular current loop. So on solving this particular expression, I will be getting from B to C, if I say this part was at the origin, I can tell it as 0 to length L. What is my I times dl? Can I write I times dl as simply the direction that I'm moving? So I'll take I is a constant value, the current which is flowing, so I'll take it out. The distance I've traveled is some distance dz in the direction z cap cross b vector, plus from the path d to a. Now I'm calculating this thing. This has been done. I have to calculate this. For the path d to a, I'm coming from a distance L back to 0. Hence my integral will be running from L back to 0. Again I'm moving in the direction z axis direction, hence it is dz z cap cross b vector. Okay, that is the length traveled. So if you see this, I mean, here also I'll be having current because I dot dl, right? So if you see this, both the derivation, they both are lookalikes. Only thing is you can see the integrals are different. So if I call this integral, the first integral, as simply f naught, this will be nothing but minus of f naught, right? If I change the integral, this becomes minus I of 0 to L dz z cap cross b, so which is nothing but f naught. So the force acted upon that particular current loop will be equal to what? Will be equal to 0, or in other words, I can say it is in equilibrium. That's what I said. They both the forces are equal in magnitude, but they are acting opposite in direction. Hence, the forces will be equal to 0. So what is that force? The magnitude of force is what I had just discussed here. The magnitude of force, if not, can be written as I times P and the length. The length of this whole current element is L. That's what I am traversing into. This is the magnitude, because since sine of theta, the theta here is what? The theta it is making is 90. Sine theta is, sine 90 is 1. Hence, this is the magnitude. IBL, this is the magnitude of that particular force on that thing. So if I say here, it will be a positive force and here it might be a negative force. So you can think of f naught is acting at the right end and minus f naught is acting at the left end of that particular closed conductor. Hence they act as a couple and the whole thing vanishes. But what if I, so if I want to show this particular diagram, okay, if I want to show this particular diagram, you can think of this is my magnetic field lines B, and this is how I have placed the current element, right? So they are on same plane. What if I have the magnetic field as it is, but now I'll give a small tilt to my current element, that is I'm viewing it from this end. Rather than placing like this, I'm now placing like this, wherein it is making an angle alpha. Okay, this particular current loop normal plane is making an angle alpha. So let us assume that and try to calculate the torque now. So for that, I can write the expression for torque is nothing but T is nothing but the force acted upon it, F naught, the force acted upon this F naught, times what is the width of this? It is nothing but the moment arm, right? It is the force into the torque was defined as what? M, the moment arm here, it is R cross F. So I have defined F as F naught. I have to define R. So R is defined as the arm length is W and it is making an angle sine of alpha. So if I solve for this, I can simply write T as P I L times W sine alpha. So you might think, what is this? What has happened now? So basically, this was the diagram which we discuss right now. Here the current direction is reversed. That's why the force are acting like this. But what I'm speaking now is, what if I have kept the current element something like this? If the current element here, the current element is something like this, okay, and it is the normal of this current element is making an angle alpha. Rather than keeping like this, here the current element was kept like this, okay, with respect to the magnetic field, the current element was kept like this. If I say this is the normal, normal was making a 90-degree angle over here. But here the current element is tilted at a degree alpha, okay, the normal itself is making some degree alpha, hence it experiences a different force. The current element will experience a different force, so this force will make the current element to move. So how is that going to move is given by this expression, where this is actually taken from the basic expression T is equal to, or torque equal to, my moment arm times the force, where we have already calculated the force. Force is nothing but BIL. So this was the force, and R is nothing but the moment arm's length, which is W. If you see here, the moment arm's length was W times sine alpha, because it is again a cross product, right? So if you see here, LW is what? Length into width is nothing but the area of that particular current element, right? Hence, we can define the torque is equal to BIS, where S is this area, the surface area of that particular current element, sine alpha. So this is the expression for the magnetic torque that is experienced by it. And also there is one more definition, the magnetic dipole moment. The magnetic dipole moment is given by the value small m, okay. So I can define this magnetic dipole moment as m equal to I times s in the direction n cap, or the normal vector, okay. It is nothing but the magnetic dipole moment is defined by the current that is flowing over that particular closed surface. So this is a vector again. The magnetic dipole moment is a vector. So using this, it has a SI unit. If I say it is amp per meter square, because meter square is the area and current is in amp, so amp per meter square is its SI unit. So if I use this particular equation, this particular substitution in the above equation, that is this equation, if I substitute, I can write the expression for torque as torque is equal to Is can be written as M, and B sine alpha can be written as the vector P. I mean, this is the derivation for the torque. Torque can calculated with respect to the force and the moment arm length, or you can calculate with respect to the current in that particular surface times the magnetic field. So although this expression is derived using a rectangular loop, I can apply this on any type of loop. So here I have taken a rectangular loop, right? Current loop. I can apply this on any crooked loop, and I can find the torque that is being affected or that is being considered on that particular loop. There is one more thing. What if I say this is my magnetic field lines, and this is how my current element is. If I am viewing from the axis orientation, so I am viewing from this axis, it looks like this. So if I say this is my current element, again you can see the forces will be acting something like this, inwards, or depending on this orientation it will be acting. So if I say the current element, if I say the same path, same current is flowing, anti-clockwise current is flowing, and it is at the 90-degree orientation which I have shown. So what happens if I use the right hand rule? Again, my magnetic field lines are pointing towards the inner surface, current is flowing here, and the force experienced will be what? It will be upward, right? Here the force experienced might be upward, and here the force experienced might be downward, and both the forces get cancelled, and this will be in equilibrium. Or else if I have a different current, the forces might be acting like this, inwards, and both the forces will be getting cancelled, again they both will be in equilibrium. Hence, at this orientation you don't have the effect of torque, or else at this orientation you don't have the effect of torque. If you want to have the effect of torque, or if you want to have a rotation, your rotation force will be more effective when my current loop is making some angle, the plane of the current loop is making some angle with respect to the magnetic field. Hope this is understood, and this is a bit of a bigger concept. Try to understand it. Any doubts, please do let me know. I'll help you out. Thank you.